Good morning, and thanks for joining us for Breakfast with Bridgett. I'm Lewis Bolden. Bridgett Ellison is enjoying some time off, so you are stuck with me today. And I am taking the liberty of renaming the show today to Lattes with Lewis. So grab a latte and sit back and relax. We've got several things to talk about this morning, including a bad crash that was on the 408 this morning. We're going to check in with Crystal Moyer to get an update on that. And toll text scam. So we had a schemes and ripoffs report about this earlier in the month. You have probably gotten those annoying text messages saying that you owe tolls. It is all a scam, so do not click the link. We're going to tell you what the state is doing to cut back on it. That's how widespread this has gotten. And egg prices. Listen, my aunt called me last night complaining about the price of eggs. They are up about 170% since 2019. So News 6's Matt Austin went to talk to a local egg farmer. So we'll have that a little bit later as well. But first, we woke up to some chilly temperatures this morning. So let's check in with meteorologist Michelle Morgan. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning, Lewis. Thank you so much for having me on Lattes with Lewis.
Of course, of course. We were dealing with some chilly temperatures this morning.
You know, it's very cold outside. I stepped outside briefly and I was like, whoa, it does not feel like Florida whatsoever. So yes, you are right. Starting off chilly, you'll definitely need to layer up this morning. And things are not going to warm up much as we go through today. So let's go ahead and take a look at the map here just to show you what the setup is looking like. We had a cold front move through a couple of days ago. You can see that's well off to our south and east over the Caribbean, but notice all of that blue. So I popped up the temperatures as well, what it's feeling like. So we have that Arctic air hanging over more than half of the country right now, and it has made its way to Central Florida. So here's what I'm talking about as we take a look at our current temperatures here. We're at 39 degrees in Orlando. As we look at Leesburg, Claremont, the Villages, good morning to you all. You're at 36, 34 in Palm Coast, 42 in Melbourne and Mico, and 41 in Kissimmee. Now, it's also breezy. We do have our winds generally out of the north and northwest right now. It is going to stay windy all day with winds between 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusts up to 25 miles per hour in many locations. So, of course, when you factor in the air temperatures and the winds, you combine those together, you get the feels like temperatures, what it feels like on your skin, which is really important. So it feels like 29 in Wildwood, Claremont, Leesburg, 32 in the Villages, 31 in Orlando, and 38 degrees in Titusville, 30 in Daytona Beach. Now, because of the cold weather, we do have a cold weather advisory in effect for a few counties, not all of the counties, but you still need to pay attention to the cold weather. We're looking at that weather advisory, cold weather advisory for Marion, Sumter, and also Polk County, where the wind chill temperatures are so cold, it could result in hypothermia or, could you believe it, frostbite if you're outside too long and you're not dressed properly. So just make sure you're dressing warm. Layers will be your friend today. Now, as we go through the morning hours, we're looking at temperatures steady in the 40s, at least through 9, 10 o'clock this morning. The closer to lunch will be in the middle to upper 50s, and then we'll see a daytime high of 62 with plenty of sunshine. So the sunshine will feel nice. It's just going to feel chilly because of the winds. Now, your forecast highs across Central Florida, 58 in DeLand, 59 in Sanford. We're at 57 in Daytona Beach, 60 in Leesburg in the Villages, and 63 in Kissimmee, and then along our coastal spots. This is from Titusville all the way to Mico. You're in the lower to middle 60s. So yes, temperatures will be below average today. And just to note, we started off February so warm. Temperatures were in the 80s daily. So this has been a quick switch up for us, but it's not going to last long. We're going to warm back up into the 70s this weekend, and then middle to upper 70s, lower 80s as we wrap up the upcoming work week. So your clouds and rain forecast looking great. We'll see a few clouds continue to push on shore as we wrap up your morning, heading into the afternoon hours. Expect partly cloudy skies, no rain in the forecast, and then most of the clouds are expected to thin on out as we go through tonight. Now, the bottom line, we're looking chilly and breezy today. The weekend looks great, lower 70s. It'll be comfortable with a few isolated showers, and then warming up into the upper 70s, lower 80s by late next week. So here's your 7-day forecast. 62 today, 50 tonight, 71 on Saturday, 73 on Sunday with a few isolated showers, some sprinkles possible. And then heading into Monday, still starting off in the 50s. We get into the lower 70s Monday afternoon. But then after that, things begin to warm up near average in the middle to upper 70s on Tuesday. And then we're approaching 80 on Wednesday. And then we're in the lower 80s on Thursday. So we're going to continue this roller coaster temperature trend as we go through the next 7 days. And, Luz, this is why everybody's sick. It's cold, it's hot, it's cold, it's warm. So we're going to continue that as we go through at least Thursday.
You know what, Michelle, even though I had to cover up some of the plants last night, I enjoy the cooler temperatures. I mean, we're hot like 8 months out of the year.
Correct. I enjoy the cold weather as well. You see, I got my little turtleneck girl. Like I'm okay. Crystal's booing over there. Just ignore her. Just ignore her. Because when it's hot and it's humid, and then we're all fighting for our lives because it's so warm, and yeah, look, I'm not being dramatic. It is true. It gets very hot here. So the cooler weather, it's a nice change. So I enjoy it too, Lewis.
Yeah, yeah. Any opportunity to pull out the turtleneck and the black and the boots, I'm all in for it. And Michelle, whenever you're here, viewers always like to send you their pet pictures, and I know you have a few from this morning.
Yes.
Particularly,
Yes,
I
I
think it
do.
was Rain that had the
Oh
bomb
yes,
wig.
Miss Rain. Yes, girl. Miss Rain was giving it to us. So the last pet that I showed was Medusa, but I will show you Miss Rain. She was adorable, and what really stood out to us, all of us, we were talking about it, was her wig. Her wig was so cute. Like she was just ready, and even her owner that wrote me, she said that Rain enjoys a nice hair day. All
Oh,
right. You see Rain over there. There she is, looking so cute in her not any wig, it's a pink wig.
there you go.
All right. So and she's just having the time of her life. So I always love to tell everyone to send me your pet pictures. I mean, I've had dogs, cats, turtles, fish, all kinds of. I think I had a little dragon. Like any pets, I love to showcase them because they're so cute. They're part of the family, and it's just nice to show them on air. So I do want to tell the viewers thank you so much, and of course you can send me your pictures on clickorlando.com/pins, and I will feature them.
And people love seeing their pets. Michelle, thank
Of
you.
course,
Rain was living her best life with the pink and blonde wig.
she
I love it.
was.
All
She
right,
was.
Michelle, thank you. So, we told you earlier that there was a really bad crash this morning on the 408 that really caused a mess. Let's check in with Crystal Moyer now to get an update on that. And, Crystal, is it cleared up yet?
It is cleared, but we are still seeing some issues on the roadways. Thanks, Lewis. Y'all wait for Trooper Steve to be off to give me this mess. So thank you. Yeah, there was a really bad wreck along the 408 that blocked all westbound lanes for a couple of hours. You're looking live right now with the DOT camera. This is 408 just east of Mills Avenue. So the crash was after Mills. You can see traffic is moving here, which is some good news. However, because traffic was backed up for miles all the way back to the 417, we are still seeing backup traffic. And this is all the way from Goldenrod out towards Cimarron. So you're going to see some areas of heavy delays, traffic moving at 20 miles per hour. And that's because it takes time once they reopen all of those lanes for traffic to recover, obviously, right? So if you are planning to head out on the roadways right now, here's a live look at the 408, kind of where we're starting to see the backups forming. On the back end of this crash, you'll just want to allow some extra time. I'm not sure how long it's going to take for traffic to recover, but if you just want to avoid it altogether, go ahead and hop onto Colonial Drive or 528. This was a pretty bad wreck. Now, it wasn't being worked by FHP, it was being worked by OPD, Orlando Police. So as soon as we get some more information, of course, we'll let you know on clickorlando.com. But for now, obviously it's going to take some time for traffic to recover. We're seeing those normal delays on this Friday. If you're traveling along the 429, of course, over near Osceola, if you're traveling near I-4 heading towards the Polk Osceola County line, you're going to see some minor delays there. Here are your drive times if you're trying to head towards downtown along I-4. So heading westbound between 417 and 50, it's going to take you about 19 minutes, 26 minutes heading eastbound between Osceola Parkway and Colonial Drive. too bad right now. If you are traveling over near Marion County, Sumter County, Lake County, good morning. You're looking pretty good. You're in the green along I-75 and the Turnpike. Your drive times along the Turnpike between I-4 and I-75, about 39 minutes. Once you hop onto the Turnpike, once you hop onto I-75, excuse me, between the Turnpike and State Road 40, which is that Ocala exit, allow at least 19 minutes. Now, I do want to bring this up to you, Lewis, because we talked about this on the morning show today. If you're used to traveling along I-4 express lanes, FDOT will be starting their dynamic tolls on Monday. And what that means is you're going to see a fluctuation in pricing when you take the tolls. You know how it's usually a set price when you're driving along I-4 and you see it like on the digital boards there? During the peak times, you're going to see that price increase. And when it's not peak times, when there's not too many people on the roadways, that cost will decrease. So the peak hours right now are around 6 to 9 a.m. in the mornings and then 3 to 7 p.m. in the afternoon. So we don't know exactly what the cost is going to be, but FDOT says it wants to keep traffic along I-4 moving at a minimum of 50 miles an hour. So they're going to try to encourage folks to get off on the express lanes to keep traffic moving. And then when you're going to see a lot of people on those express lanes, the cost is going to go up. So I just wanted to give you all a heads up so you're not shocked on Monday morning when you head out on the roadways.
That surge pricing, but anything to keep the traffic moving. Crystal, thank you so much.
Right. Money well spent, in my opinion.
I'm right there with you. As long as I can keep moving, I'm good. Crystal, thank you.
That's right. Thanks.
And we have an update on a crash that happened in Poinciana. Right now, an arrest warrant is out for a teenager deputies say caused the crash that left 4 people dead, including 3 children. It was September of 2023 when investigators say the 15-year-old ran a stop sign while speeding and hit an SUV, killing those 4 people. And more than a year after the crash, the Highway Patrol decided to pursue charges against the teen's father, who they say allowed his son to drive without supervision and without a learner's permit. Richard Ferguson was arrested on 4 counts of vehicular manslaughter and is being held in jail on a $60,000 bond. Investigators have not said the charges the teen driver is facing. And you have probably gotten those annoying text messages saying that you owe money in tolls. We had a schemes and ripoffs alert about this earlier this month. It is a scam. Do not click the link. It's just all a ploy to get your personal information, so you definitely don't want to do that. News 6's Angie Casada explains how the state is trying to crack down.
Yeah, a lot of us take the toll roads like the one behind me to get around Central Florida, but a scam's been going around and a lot of folks have been falling victim, including my own dad. Check this out. These are the texts that are going around. They seem real, using terms like unpaid toll notice or threats of late fees, all in hopes that you'll click that link. But don't do it. It's a scam.
So they might seem benign. Oh, I'm going on some pass, I'm paying a toll, they need my driving license number. That seems reasonable, but it's a scam.
Danny Jenkins is a cybersecurity expert with Central Florida's Threat Locker. He warns once you click, you might be asked for your credit card details, driver's license number, or even your social security number.
This is often the entry point into your life getting a lot worse because they'll collect small pieces of information.
Now, Florida transportation leaders want drivers to remember this. Stop, think, don't click that link. SunPass and ePass will never request payment or personal information via text. Instead, customers are urged to log into their accounts directly through sunpass.com or cfxway.com.
So there's people on the dark web, they'll trade 10,000 driving license numbers for Florida residents for X. So you may not actually lose anything from that transaction, but you may now have your driving license sold to 50 different criminal organizations that will now do other things.
If you think you've fallen victim to this scam, contact the Florida Attorney General's office or report it to SunPass or ePass. Reporting in Orlando, Angie Casada, Getting Results, News 6.
Angie, thank you. Remember, don't click that link. And everybody is complaining about the price of eggs. They are up 170% since 2019, up another 15% from January. And even egg producers are feeling the pinch. News 6's Matt Austin has the story.
The sign outside this small Kissimmee egg farm is no yolk. In the backyard, the owner, Wagner, is the definition of having all his eggs in one basket. I saw a sign out front that said sold out.
Yes, sir.
You can't keep the eggs here.
No, because the production, I didn't increase the production already, but the demand grew like 3-4 times.
Wow.
So
On his quaint 2.5-acre farm, Wagner pasture raises these chickens, feeding them corn and scraps from his own table. So we've shown you the chickens. Now we're showing you what they produce. This is something you'll probably never see at your local grocery store. Different shapes, different sizes and colors. And while the prices have gone up for you, they've gone up here as well. The price for this feed has skyrocketed since Wagner started producing eggs in 2020. He's been forced to raise prices from $5 per dozen to $8. And Wagner's future has even gotten more expensive. These are 1,000 little chicks he just purchased to catch up with demand. But this local farmer says the biggest issue causing you to pay more money.
no, it's corporate greed.
Corporate greed.
Yes, sir. It's almost a monopoly. When you go to the grocery store, you see a plenty of brands. 40% belongs to the same company. That just differentiation.
Different name
different,
on the cart.
different brand names.
Matt Austin, getting results. News 6.
And we've got a big event coming up this weekend in Ormond Beach. It is the Future City Music Festival, and we're going to be speaking with the organizer, Tim Spencer, coming up right after this short break. Stay with us. Well, WKMG had its Hits the Road event in Ormond Beach this week. It was a big success. We met a lot of nice people from that area. They have another big event coming up this weekend. It is the Future City Music Festival. And joining us now is Tim Spencer, who is the event organizer and a featured performer. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning, Lois.
So what can people expect this year?
First of all, it's going to be a family event, and we've tried it at different times of the year, but we landed on February because as much as Floridians love the sun, no one wants to sit out in the sun all day and get roasted, no matter how good the music is. So we're doing it in February. It's going to be a perfect day. It's from 2 to 7. It's 4 different bands. One of them we brought in from Nashville, a really talented artist named Jude Smith. You're going to see food trucks, bounce houses. Really, it's a family event. And tickets are only $10 if you get them online, 15 at the gate.
And this is the 4th year for the event, right?
Correct. So we started this in 2021, and it's just continued to grow ever since. Like, I didn't know if there'd be an appetite for this sort of thing in Volusia County, kind of a more family-oriented music event that you wouldn't blush at bringing your kids to. But really, it's continued to grow and gain interest, and we're trying to, as the event grows, attract more and bigger artists as well.
Well, 4 years in, it seems like you are growing. Tell us about some of the performers that you're going to see.
So our big performer is from Nashville, Jude Smith. His influences are more on the pop side. My band is called the Aura Street Mission Band. We're more on the rock, grunge, alternative side. There's a hip hop artist called Testimony Music that's going to be there, and there's a a local band, a lot of them from Nashville, called Sparrow, that will be there. And from 2 to 3, we have what we call like a new artist showcase. So there's 3 new artists that are probably performing for the first time that I'm really excited about as well.
Yeah, it sounds like you have a good lineup going. And it's more than just music, though, correct?
Correct. So it's really an opportunity an outreach to the community, a chance just to get people together, to unify, to just be able to spend just a nice day in God's creation and just enjoy each other.
Yeah, it sounds like you're going to have some great weather for it. And you're right, nobody wants to be out in the sun. So this is a good weekend to have it. And what's the
Totally agree. Totally agree.
And it is from 2 to 7, and the price is $10 for admission?
$10 if you buy online, and it is $15 at the gate.
15 at the gate. Okay, is there anything else you'd like for people to know?
No, but we just love to have you. When you put on these events, it's like months and months of work, and now the day finally comes. So we're super excited to see you guys out there, and look forward to meeting you in person.
Well, Tim Spencer, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you have a great turnout.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks, Louis.
All right, take care. And also this weekend, we have Black Men Sundays. We have the host, who is my brother, my partner in crime, News 6 photojournalist, Corey Murray. He is joining us to tell us what he has coming up this weekend. Good morning, Corey.
This week on Black Men Sundays. First off, this is our 140th show. So on this show, we've had a lot of financial advisors come on, and they say 3 things: wealth accumulation phase, the asset preservation and protection phase, and the distribution phase. So these are phases of wealth development, wealth building. Now, we speak to my brother, Nelson Simmons III, out of Nashville, Tennessee. He's also my financial advisor and budgeting coach. So we spent our time, because like I said, on Black Men Sundays, we spend a lot of time on the accumulation phase. So that's people 18 to 55. But what about when you get to that preservation phase and you're 55 to 65? Do you pull your money out of the market to be safe? So on this show, we're talking about how do you buffer your wealth from loss? So let's roll that soundbite.
So let's say that we have $100,000 to invest, and you choose a buffer. Again, I said that you can buffer it from 20 to 30%, but in this particular scenario, you have a 25% buffer. And over the course of 3 to 6 years, because there's a lock-in period, depending on, and you get to choose that lock-in period, the market performs like poorly. And the overall market was down, let's say 20%. In this case, the insurance company would eat the entire market loss because you have a 25% buffer.
Exactly. Now keep in mind, 25% buffer. It's a safety net for you. So if you're in that 55 to 65 preservation phase, you don't want to lose the money due to market volatility. So I had to ask him, okay, so what if the market goes above 30%? How does that buffer work? Let's roll that.
In this case, instead of a 20% market downturn, we have a 30% market downturn. The insurance company would eat the 25% of the loss and only charge the account that you have with them a loss of 5%. So the total loss in the account would be $5,000. And your new balance in your account would be $95,000.
Exactly. So on Black Men Sundays, like I said, we spend a lot of time accumulating, but once you've accumulated, you don't want to lose it to volatility. So a lot of people do the 60-40 split where they go 60% bonds, or some people just pull the cash out. I've had people where they, the cash may be under the couch somewhere for like 50 years. Then when the family member passes, they find all the money. But with this technique, you don't have to do that. You can still stay vested in the market. And that way you can take advantage of growth with the companies. That way, in your later years, especially with the inflation and all that, you still need to have money. Because remember, with me and Louis work, we've gone to people's houses and they're saying we might have to go back to work. So you use this technique, you may not have to go back to work. But let me tell you now, there's some pros to this and there's some cons to this. If you remember what he said, there's a lock-in period. Understand that. There's a lock-in period. So that means if you get in a jam and you need some liquid money, this may not work for you, but it will work due to market volatility. That way you're not losing your asset. Like I said, with his 30% buffer, 25, if 25%, I'm sorry, if you do a 25% buffer and the market goes up 30%, you're still with that 100,000. You only lost 5,000 compared to if that 30% buffer wasn't in effect and that was attached to your 401k, you would have lost $30,000. So there we go. Black Men Sundays. This show drops this Sunday, all platforms. And also check us out on Instagram as well. Subscribe. We have exclusive content because we're trying to get this message out and we're trying to get people to understand that you can start this today. This isn't nothing that you have to wait 30 years to do. You can establish this today. Black Men Sundays. Let's go. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Corey, you and I have had several people tell us that they have had to unretire because of the price of things. So that is very good advice. Did you say earlier you've now done 140 shows?
Yes, this will be show 140. So if anything that I said sounds a little foreign, like wealth accumulation, asset preservation, distribution, my brother Nelson Simmons has come on the show every January. So literally you can just close your eyes, pick a show from January, and you'll get this information because we've had at least 30 financial advisors come on the show, and I just hear the same repetitiveness of, asset accumulation, distribution, and when I first started Black Men Sunday, some of that sounded foreign to me, but it's kind of like being a homeowner. Once you understand what you're paying for and you start cutting those checks, things get a lot clearer. So tune in on this. Yes.
I cannot believe you're about to be at 140 shows. I remember when you started this show. So tell me how the show has evolved over time.
Well, first off, I have to thank you for coming on the show, sharing your story when we were just an experiment. We weren't even recording it. We just had brothers on a Sunday talking about their lives. And you came on, you were talking about your family at the time and how much money was being spent. And so a lot of brothers connected with that. And then I started getting to a point where people were saying, you need to record this, send me a copy. So I said, instead of doing all that, let's just make a podcast and do that. And we've done that. And then, I'm at the point now where, a lot of publicists, because our Black Men Sundays is a top 15 Black financial podcast. We're in the top 15. I'm trying to hit that top 10 because we were like in the 60s and 70s for a long time. But, as we evolve, people see that. And my email is attached. So a lot of publicists contact me and they send me their guest. And, once you show their guest some love and their guest says they had a good time, then they give you their better guests. And then you're like, I didn't even know you had celebrities. Oh, yeah, well, I had to send you the others first to make sure that you showed them some love. So once I got comfortable with that, then their celebrities started coming on the show. And then the Instagram started popping off. The TikTok started going. And, we out of here now.
Corey, it has been so cool to just watch this show grow and evolve and watch you grow and evolve as the host. Always have some very good advice. So let people know again when they can catch the show.
Yeah, they can catch the show at midnight Sunday morning. So that's, for the folks that's going to the club, that's midnight Saturday night. But, to be professional, it's midnight Sunday morning. We're dropping on all platforms. We're also on News 6 Plus, even though News 6 Plus doesn't drop until about noon, 1 o'clock. But and we also get an article on News 6. But if you want to listen to it right at midnight, hit all your podcast platforms. We're on YouTube as well. And like I said, sign up, subscribe on our Instagram page. Everything is Black Men Sundays.
So people have a lot of options to listen to it. Looking forward to it. Corey, thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll see you in a little bit.
All right, brother. See you soon. And thank you so much for joining us this morning on Lattes with Lewis. Make it a great day. Take care.